Vancouver was very clean, rich, and lush. It's definitely a young city and healthy. Everyone was just walking around. It was like New York meets Seattle meets Chinatown, and then you just smeared it across Canada.
To add to what Carolyn said, it offers many things from a great food scene, lively bars, to plenty of scenic sights and outdoorsy activities and hikes. And hey, they even have a Costco. It wasn't much different from the ones that we have in the US. To start out the trip, we rented a car to get around the city easier and headed directly to our Airbnb. We had a nice high-rise apartment in city center that the guys booked on their trip a few years back. This place had some of the nicest panoramic views of the city, which made us appreciate the city a bit more. Some of the sites we checked out were Stanley Park, Lighthouse Park, and Granville Island.
Stanley Park was big. This giant piece of nature in the middle of an urban city. I think the only thing I didn't like was that we had to pay for parking.
There are plenty of trails for walking, biking, and rollerblading. Multiple viewpoints that actually give you different perspectives of Vancouver. And a few beaches if the weather permits. It really is a gorgeous park.
Lighthouse Park was my favorite thing to do in Vancouver. It's just massive, and the drive was so windy, but it was nice seeing all the rich homes we couldn't afford. It was just really green, and the air was so fresh. Like, my allergies went away. I like places like that. It's forest bathing, so all your worries and tribulations just kind of disappear when you're standing amongst giant trees and just walking. But that was my favorite. It was really, really scenic. There were so many trails. I liked it.
The hike was a lot easier than I anticipated, and it was not crowded. Once we got to the viewpoints, it was definitely relaxing just to sit there and stare out into the ocean. Stupid Northwest and their beautiful hikes. Granville Island reminded me of Shoreline Village in Long Beach. It had a very fisherman dock kind of feel. We had to take a short ride on the aqua bus across the bay to get to it.
The marketplace was really nice. There's a lot of hustle and bustle, and there were a lot of options to eat. And it's a nice place to go for like a couple of hours. I see it as like a first date spot. But it was a nice quick getaway for people who live there. And then you had the brewery, which is nice too.
The brewery was big from the outside, but the tap room was a lot smaller than expected. The beer was a lot more hoppy than I'm used to, even though we just ordered pale ales and pilsners. The food scene was great, and here are the places that we went to.
Western Lake, that was the best dim sum ever. They had gigantic shumai and shrimp dumplings. It was so massive. It was really good. And I liked the crowd there. They're pretty diverse. That was really, really good dim sum. I think that might have been the best dim sum I've had so far in my life. Oyster Express was good. They pickled chilies in vodka, and it was so good. And we used it for the oysters.
For reference, the oysters during happy hour are only $1.50, and you are not getting bad quality oysters. The place filled up quick.
My two favorite things in Vancouver were trees and poutine. In Vancouver, I don't know what they do differently. Their gravy is not as salty, and the cheese curds are super soft and melty. We had it twice, and if I could, I would have had it 2 more times.
We went to get some regular Canadian food at the Flying Pig.
Flying Pig was whatever. Flying Pig was okay. Marutama was really yummy. The broth was chicken broth, so that was a little unique. And it tasted good. It was very clean. It was thick, but without being too salty. So I liked it a lot.
I agree with Carolyn.
Gu was good. I didn't know that Vancouver had so many options for Japanese food until we got there, because it's like you always hear about Chinatown more than anything. Felt like we were stepping back into Tokyo, like in one of those little izakaya bars. Everything was great. I'm hungry.
Our last meal in Vancouver was Saku, a Japanese pork cutlet restaurant.
The pork cutlet was good too. So juicy and crispy.
It was awesome.
Every single time someone recommended a restaurant to us, they're like, oh, have you been to Phnom Penh? And we're like, Phnom Penh wasn't open. We went there and they were on vacation for a month. So if anything, we have to go back to Vancouver so we can actually try Phnom Penh.
So to wrap up, poutine good, dim sum good, tree pretty, and city relaxing. We have nothing bad to say about Vancouver. Great people, great food, and great scenery. Even with the drizzly weather, we enjoy the trip very much and can't wait until the next time we'll pay a visit to this place. We really want to explore more hikes and other restaurants. And of course, we want to go back to Phnom Penh. So maybe next time. Thanks for watching.